My first mission at the embassy is to understand what is the policy in the field of nuclear energy in the US and to explain to my colleagues in Paris what is this policy. At the same level, my mission is also to understand and explain to my US colleagues what is the French nuclear energy policy. My second mission is to prepare and identify issues for increased cooperation in this field between France and the US. The third mission I have here at the embassy is to support the activities of the French industry in the US. As all my nuclear counselor colleagues in French embassies in the world, we come from the French Atomic Energy Commission, which last year has become the French Commission for Atomic Energy and Alternative Energies. So today, CEA is also active, in addition to nuclear energy, in the field of alternative energies and new technologies. France, it's true, is at the forefront of nuclear energy for many, many years, but France is not alone. Of course, we share this situation with others, and especially with the United States. The United States has 104 nuclear reactors operating on the US territory, as France has 58. Together, France and the US, we have the two most important fleets of nuclear reactors operating in the world. In the 70s, France was facing the situation where we had no fossil fuels available. So we were in a time of prosperity, increased economic development, and we needed energy. So it was decided by the French government that we should find our own way to provide us with a secure and safe, independent source of energy. And it was decided to develop nuclear energy in France. It is also important to remind that even at this time, we were working very closely between France and the US. The origin of the French nuclear program is very much American. Fukushima has been a very, very important and dramatic event, especially in Japan, of course, but also in the rest of the world. After Fukushima, the impact has been quite important in France and in the US. Some people were afraid of nuclear energy and were thinking this is something we should turn away from. I think the people in France, in the US, and over the world have understood that the responsible people for nuclear energy were facing the situation, preparing answers, and making nuclear energy even safer. Today, almost 2 years after Fukushima, in the United States, more than 60%, 65% of people are in favor of nuclear energy. I think that nuclear energy is today, in terms of competitiveness, facing some very strong challenges. I would lie if I was not mentioning the shale gas and the fact that natural gas in the US has reached such a low price that it is very difficult to compete with gas today. But for the long term, nuclear energy has and will have a role to play. We will probably need more and more energy in the future. So to address this need for energy and for electricity, we need to be able to rely on all different sources of energy. I think that it is the situation today in the US, where 4 new nuclear reactors are being built in Georgia and South Carolina. Another one is being completed at Wadsboro. So the original investment is very massive, but when it is made, you can have access to a very cheap source of electricity for many, many years. Keep in mind that a nuclear power plant can operate for 40, 50, 60, some even think of 70 years or 80 years. Once again, the world will need energy. And nuclear energy is a safe, reliable, clean energy. It doesn't impact on the climate. That's why I think that in the long term, as we will need all sources of energy, like President Obama says, it's an all of the above strategy, nuclear energy will have a role to play among other sources of energy.